All right, and so I guess with that, we'll start by just introducing the judges, the people that are picking the winners here. And I'm Alex Francor, by the way. I'm head of product here at Xata, and I've been here for a couple of years. And this is probably the most exciting hackathon that I think we've had because it's been really fun to work with people with folks like Soren from Prisma and from Clerk and from uh, Ingest. It's been a nice hackathon in working with other people, and so I think our community really appreciated it as well, and it's been fun to see what people built. So I will pass it off to. We're gonna go through the Pixie order, PXCI. So Prisma, Soren, I'll pass it off to you, and maybe for quick introduction, tell folks a little bit about yourself, and yeah, let you introduce yourself.
Thanks, Alex. It's been super cool to see all these projects being built. Um, I moved to Berlin 10 years ago, and the first thing I did was participate in a hackathon, which we almost won. So hackathons are very dear to me. Um, that's all really. Some exciting projects that I look forward to the winners.
All right, Monica, I think you're up.
Hey, hi everyone. So I'm really excited about this hackathon. I have the feeling that, after seeing all the submissions, I have the feeling that, some of them might end up being a company behind it because, everyone is put so much effort in building this kind of prototype, but this is how everything starts as a company. So I think it will be interesting if some of you will end up even building a company around this. And I think it was interesting in a sense that some had also a unique approach to things. And I think this was exciting. So maybe a bit about myself, right? So I'm a founder of Xata, and we are building a Postgres company, and we are concentrating on our efforts in building all the tooling around Postgres. And yeah, this week is our launch week, so you can try to follow us and see more about what the goodies we bring on top of Postgres this week.
All right, Colin, you're up next, just in time.
Perfect. I did miss the prompt, but I think I caught it. Or I can.
Just a quick intro.
Awesome. Yeah, I really enjoyed reviewing. Okay, cool. Really enjoyed reviewing everyone's submissions. Just some really cool stuff built in a short period of time. So super exciting. I'm Colin, co-founder of Clerk. The sign up, sign in, user profile, boring bits of your application that let you just focus on the cool parts.
And last but certainly not least, Dan.
Hey all, Dan, CTO and co-founder over at Ingest. Yeah, first just want to thank Alex and Shazan for organizing and orchestrating this. This has been awesome, super fun, and shout out to Sylvia on my team also that I don't want to forget. She made the starter repo and did a lot of work with the rest of the crew here. So this couldn't happen without her from our side. And yeah, honestly, overall, we were super stoked with the level of this, like the quality of the submissions and the cool stuff that people were building. It just overall was super awesome. I think it was pretty cool to see all the four technologies come together. So I really, really like saw some really cool cases. I think to the point made before, like there could be some good side projects and maybe businesses that spin out of these things. So I know I kind of want to use some of these myself. So yeah, thanks for being a part of it, and thanks for checking out Ingest and all these great products. So yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's been really fun working with you folks, and also yeah, I will reiterate the shout outs to Shazane and Celia. Like you two made this happen, and so I really appreciate all the help there. I will dive into like the specifics. Let's talk about what's on the table here. And so for this hackathon, all companies contributed to the prize money. So we have a really nice pot. And so in first place, $2,500 plus some swag from each one of us. Second place, $1,000 plus some swag from each one of us. And third place, $500 plus some swag. And so this is I don't know, this is the largest stakes that we've had, at least in Xata, for a hackathon. And I think, I don't know, it shows in the amount of people here, I think, waiting to see the winners. And these are some exciting prizes. So what are we judging on? To start, the bare bones is just general application criteria. So effective use of the PXCI stack, the general and overall usability and user experience, and then creativity around the idea. And so these really helped guide us through the submissions, making sure that there was some innovation happening with the stack, and that the use cases were pretty cool. Excuse me. Use of AI. We added bonus points for three different pieces of criteria. The first is the use of AI. And this is the technical implementation as well as uniqueness of the use case for AI. Get up to 50 points for that. Showcasing the content. So this actually was a differentiator in some of the scoring, was creating content around this, blogs, videos, streams to help showcase your submission. And then social engagement. So promoting that, sharing your efforts and promoting kind of the work that you've done. And so these were, this is what we judged folks on. This is what the criteria was. And before I dive into winners, I will we'll kind of showcase each one of the apps. And so the first winner, we're going to be starting with third place, is Persona. And so Persona is an interesting application that allows you to essentially create personas using AI. And it was a pretty fun experience, and there's a pretty fun community experience here as well. And so congratulations to the third place winner here. And so I'll walk through a quick demo of the application so folks can get a sense for it, and then we'll talk amongst ourselves, judges, of kind of like why they chose this and what they liked about the implementation. And so with Persona, you are able to generate personas and then share with your community. So I'm logged in through that boring thing called Clerk, and I have my own kind of like library of personas right here. And so you can see I've created a couple before. I've some kind of scary ones, if I'm being honest. And then it has my prompts here as well. And with each one, you can actually promote this to be a public persona, where you can like and you can actually add comments as well. And so you can see that there's a different commenting system and an explanation of who they are. And so I'll go ahead and create one myself. There are two different ways to do this. I can do it in a text prompt or in creator mode, which is more of a form-based approach. And I'll go with the creator mode. We'll go for a realistic stuff, and I'll drop my name in here. And these are all live demos on hackathons. Applications. Let me preface with that. So if there is a small bug, don't judge too much. But I ran through these right before to make sure that they were working well before as well. So I will make myself middle-aged. Geez, thought I was at least in the adult range. Okay, and then let's say occupation, product manager. Oh, you can see I may have done this before. And then adventurous, analytical. Why not? Energetic, maybe, sure. And then let's add a graceful, definitely. Okay, backgrounds. Let's go with, I had a soccer game, a football soccer. Let's go with a soccer game, soccer pitch. I had a soccer game last night, and so let's do that. And education, I don't know, bachelor, and let's say sports, cooking, travel, gaming. And then we'll go with all these things. Okay, and so this is AI. It does take a little while, but you can see here that all of the stuff that I added is now added as like a new prompt. And so this is a pretty cool use case. And we definitely had fun with it at Xata, and I think the rest of the group did too. But there were some interesting technical pieces that we'll get into why the judges would like this. So maybe I'll just open it up for discussion while this is generating. It takes a little while, but not too long. Oh, there we go. Ethan Thompson gave me a new name. I'm a charismatic and analytical product manager, always looking for new challenges and adventures. Okay, I like it. And so I think I'm actually able to, it'll give me an image in just a sec. There we go. Okay. All right. These are fun. So we got the hair right, I guess. Okay, but for each one of these, I do get like a new card that I can dig into, and it goes into a bit more detail about myself or Ethan. And so it's really fun. I can publish this, and then I can't chat yet, but it looks like that's getting built next. But then you can chat with them, and so it's an interesting approach, I think, to like the image generation and persona generation. There's definitely a lot you could do this, and I feel like you could even commercialize the community. And here's the repo. I'll link to it as well in Discord. And it was a pretty interesting project. And so congratulations to, I think this was 50 Bytes of John. Congratulations. And I'll open it up to the judges for their kind of commentary. I don't know if anyone wants to kick it off specifically.
Well, I'm happy to start talking about your use of Prisma. And I'm kind of a nerdy person, so I just went ahead and looked at your Prisma schema, your Prisma queries and everything. And the first thing I noticed is that you do this interesting thing in your Prisma schema where you're separating different lines. You're taking all the Xata fields and kind of putting them for themselves. You have blank lines. That breaks our auto formatter. I think I have to go back to the team and talk to them about that. But that's interesting to see. You have a good use of indexes. You use some advanced functionality, including extensive use of the Prisma API, which is really cool. And then you make use of a separate caching solution to cache the Prisma query result. I would love feedback from you if that's something we could do to make that better, build it into Prisma or something. That would be really cool. But in general, like very solid use of Prisma. Nothing crazy, but that's a good thing. And wide use of the surface area.
Yeah, I thought this project was super cool. Really also appreciated how the creator also did some live streaming of the product, and kind of just appreciate Tomas doing that and sharing, building in public. I always think that's so admirable and so awesome. And I loved how organized everything was, and how, I think Tomas said he just started using Ingest for the first time during the hackathon. Learned a bunch, learned some really cool things about when to use certain like flow control tools like concurrency and throttling, and using even more like advanced things about like the concurrency and throttling keys and whatnot. So really did some orchestration there with the AI of chaining the different steps of that has to happen to create things, because we know AI is not the super fastest thing to build upon. So super cool. And just as a personal note, I kind of thought it was pretty cool, the social aspects of it, to utilize that to that you could, like Alex said, you could publish the personas and share that and whatnot. So all the ideas there. And yeah, I just thought it was pretty cool use technically, but then also really cool on the product side.
Monica, do you have any thoughts?
Jump in.
Oh, we got Colin. Nice.
Yeah, cool. I think for me, one thing that really stuck out was just the UI UX of the whole thing. I just thought it was really elegantly organized, and it makes it fun to play with when it's that clean and polished. So congrats on pushing it that far on that front in such a short period of time.
I think, in my opinion, the idea was really amazing, because the first reaction that I had is oh, so basically you can even create support profile, and then you can chat with them. I think this is something that will be really the future probably, and I think it has so many opportunities if you move forward with this project.
All right. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, everybody. Congratulations on the win, and we'll definitely be in touch with more details on getting you that prize money and that swag. Okay, second place. I don't have an actual drum roll. I wish I did, but it is a tool called Leximori. And Leximori was a pretty interesting concept. We all found it probably one of the more unique, submissions. And so it's Leximori is a blend of lexicon and memory, and it's a language learning platform that actually focuses on the basic principles of language acquisition instead of working against it. And so it's very much targeted right now in the Chinese audience, optimizing for English, Japanese, and classical Chinese learning experience. And so I'll do a similar to the last one. I'll do a quick walkthrough of the app itself, and then folks can talk about kind of the implementation and judging criteria that we had here. But I think it's this one was a pretty interesting use case to me, and I'll walk through it a little bit. And so when you log in through Clerk, you create you have essentially to create a new library, like of a book or of a number of articles that you wanna have like organized. And so I've recently been reading or have read and am now severely disappointed because there's not a third book. This Name of the Wind series by Patrick Rothfuss. And so I'm going to create a library for him and jump in here and add some text, an excerpt from the prologue, excerpt from the prologue. And so I have that right here. I'd highly suggest these books, but just know that there is no ending yet. And it's like a fantasy kind of book. Pretty cool. And so I'll put in an excerpt right here, and it's just to copy and paste it from that website. You can see it here. And I'll have it generate basically annotations on difficult words for non-native English speakers. So it really helps you kind of remember certain words with a bunch of context that you wouldn't necessarily get typically with just reading a book. And so clicking into this, I can see what the definition is, what the etymology is, and I can save it to a notebook. So if I need to look back on it later, I can save it to a notebook. And then I can also even kind of rank by different criteria. So like high school, you can see that it highlights a couple of different words. And then I can also put in print mode if you want to go back and study it somewhere, which I thought was also pretty interesting. And I should be able to get out of print mode. There we go. And then once I add things to like my notebook, I can actually go back to my notebook for this library and then look at these words again. If I had some trouble with them, I can go through and kind of learn them again. And I can even set up times to test myself, which I think is pretty interesting. And so if I want to test myself, you can actually receive notifications on a daily basis, which is delivered through ingest. And they occur at the same time every night. Right now, I think at like 10 p.m. or something along those lines. But it was a pretty interesting use case for the technology and stack that we had. And I'll share a link to the repository as well. But this was, they put together some great content and some blogs around this, which I'll also share. But some good technical content around the notification system itself and the reasoning why they wanted to create the platform. And so congratulations, Leximori, on the win. You got second place with $1,000 in your pocket and some cool swag coming your way. And so I'll open it up to the judges. Maybe someone will do the same order again. I think that worked well. I know you were excited about this one.
So this was my favorite. I can say that, right? That's allowed. And what I really liked is that there's a very original use of AI, as you touched on, Alex. We all know what AI can do. It can generate text, it can generate images. But you can also apply it to more specialized kind of things. And I'm really interested to see what all of us and what the industry does with AI over the next, gonna take 5-10 years for us to really understand what we can do. And at least for me, this pushed the limit of what you can do with AI a little bit. And that was super interesting. From the Prisma perspective, very straightforward use of Prisma, nothing fancy going on. And as I alluded to before, that's usually a good thing. People get into trouble with databases when they try to be too smart. So no problem there. I think this was a super cool project.
Dan, I think
I can follow. Yeah, I can follow that and say, yeah, I loved similar to Soren. I love the creativity. I thought it was such a cool idea. Definitely, given that I've worked on like remote distributed teams for about a decade now, I can empathize with all the people, with everyone who's not a native English speaker. I take, you know, I can only speak one language, and I'm always impressed by so many team members who speak so many, and how they continue to learn and how difficult that is. So I think that it's such a cool idea, and I think also on top of that, like the thought that went into kind of writing the blog post, I think as Alex called out, like super cool. So definitely anybody who hasn't read that, go check it out. Uh, in terms of specifically ingest stuff, I did appreciate that they used the fan out pattern to, you know, with the crons and scheduling to fan out all the everything in parallel. So just kind of making things super lightweight and quick as well. So yeah, there was just like, this was a really cool project, and just to like see it live, and even just the demo that was just shown is just like an interesting way, and super powerful. And I love it. I wish I could speak more languages, and maybe one day I can use this to help me learn Spanish like I want to finally.
Cool. Yeah, I agree and echo just the very creative and like practical use of AI was just really exciting to see. Um, I was like pleasantly surprised when I got to the login and it had the internationalization. And yeah, I don't know if it was. It just felt like a nice like product touch. Like I was signing in a different language, and I still knew how to do it. But yeah, I thought that was cool, um, and a fun use of Clark there to kind of extend the concept everywhere in the product and not just um, within the interface. Um,
I think what Alex mentioned earlier, I think it's impressive that, he used kind of most of the functionality from different projects, and, this is the result, and I think this is amazing. When you think about notification, when you think of storing the data, when you think about AI, I think this is a great combination of each functionality used from different products. And also, I think, from my point of view as a not English native speaker, I think this is something like it's a proof that, manual tasks that people usually do, it's automated with AI, and I think this is great to see. And this is something you will anyway do. You used to do, let's say, if you want to enhance your vocabulary with more complex words. And I know that this is targeted to Chinese and Japanese market, but I think this is good for anyone else, I would say. And this is something that it's a really good way for you to learn words. I really like that you could also not only kind of get an idea about what words mean, like what these complex words mean, but also a way to really learn them. And this is, I think, the most complex thing, right? Because everyone can look in the dictionary and figure out what they mean, but then how do they learn them, right? You have to write them in a piece of paper, and then the paper gets lost and everything. And I think this is a really good, cool way. And I think, in my opinion, this can also be good for kids, I say, especially kids, I don't know, fourth, fifth grade or so, when they also need to extend their vocabulary or more complex words. I think this can be applied to so many use cases, and I think this is great. I think this is a great use case, and I don't know, I haven't seen something like this. I would love to see this as a product.
Yeah, it certainly feels like there's legs here, and so I encourage everyone to check out the blog, read the blog. It was definitely an interesting reason for creating the product, and the first, again, for like a 2-week hackathon is a pretty solid offering. And so check it out if you have time. And now I'll announce first place. This first place winner had a leg up on everybody just due to the usefulness of the use case, the practicality of it, as well as the technical implementation and use of the technology behind it, and the use of AI. And so this person introduced that rundown to the world. And so that rundown I'll actually go on the repo right now instead because it's a Chrome extension. Congratulations! I think it's Morgan. I think you're on here. Congratulations, Morgan. Number one, you did it. This was a really cool application. I think we all really loved it. It's a Chrome extension that allows the user to summarize any YouTube video. And it'll show the summaries that you've currently made, and you can search and even chat with the extension to learn to review kind of your existing ones. And so going into the project, Morgan did a really good job of documenting his experience and kind of sharing what he was building and why, and then walking us through even architecture and some videos. But he really wanted something that let him knew that the content was actually worth his time, with a quick helpful summary and some snapshots. Something that was easily searchable and referenceable for educational podcasts. And then understanding which chapter of the video actually had the best information. And so I think this is really perfect. It's a really cool extension, and I'll walk through it for people that watch a lot of YouTube videos. If I had to add a feature request here, I'd love to rank them and categorize them and group them. But again, this is another product that feels like it actually has legs. And so I'll do a quick demo, which should always be interesting with generating AI. But this is a show that I've been watching for like 4 years now, The Expanse. I just can't finish it. I do it. I pick it up and then I don't pick it up again. And it's a great show, though. I do encourage anyone to watch it. And so what I'll do is I'll do a quick kind of summary of the clip. And so you can see here that in YouTube, this request summary button is here, and then that rundown's over here on the right. That's just part of the extension now. And I've already done this once, and I'll walk through that summary in just a moment. But let me just request a summary. And so you'll see that it's scheduled. Check back in a few moments after tasty beverage. I didn't even notice that last time. Very nice. I like a tasty beverage. And so this is an example of one that I did for an Office episode. And you can kind of see here that it has a quick summary of the clip and then the different chapters within it with a summary of each one. And if I wanted to, I could ask questions about it. And we'll get a response. And when you have multiple, essentially kind of clips here, you can chat about all of them. And so let's see. It looks like this is still summarizing. I did promise that I would juggle if this was taking too long. I don't have any juggling balls here though. But let's see. Let's just give it another minute or so. Let's see what we get. But it was an interesting use case, and the technical implementation itself was something that we were all kind of blown away with, and I personally appreciated kind of the live building public documenting of the project itself. And so maybe while it's still going, I'll let the judges kind of talk about what they liked, and this one definitely took a little while last time. All right. Oh, there we go. Never mind. Oh. Wrong one. And so in this clip, it gives a quick kind of summary and then the different breakdown of the episode. Miller was a cool character. Check out the show. I'll stop there. Soren, why don't you take it away and tell us what you liked?
Thanks, Alec. It looks like this was created by an experienced Prisma user. I don't know for sure, but that's what it looked like. It uses a preview feature to enable Postgres extensions, including one I didn't even know that we supported. So that was cool. We use TS Vector for semantic search directly as in Postgres, which is really nice. And then client extensions to add extra methods to the user record, which is also kind of an advanced feature. I think we make that more complicated than it should, but you're used to it and it works well. Good use of indexes. I think just all around very solid use of Prisma. If I look at a code base review, the use of Prisma, this would pass my review. And then, as Alex talked about, is a pretty cool product. I could see this being useful for sure.
Yeah, this was I can say was super cool and super technical. I definitely invite anyone to check out the code base for sure. I know with the Prisma stuff, it's awesome, and as well as the things I'm impressed. The amount of features that were used within Jest here were super cool. I think the entire transcoding video pipeline and summarization was all chained together. And I think that's just like a great example of seeing about how you can build out something complex that like can take a good amount of time, so it can't happen synchronously. I think also there was a couple cool things I saw in the code as well of not only handling flow control, but handling failures gracefully. So when something were to maybe not process or transcode correctly, to clean up the database and to also then communicate back to the user, because these things are happening asynchronously behind the scenes. That's very important because we're used to like synchronous uh, back and forth kind of web requests, in a lot of these cases. And then also being able to cancel. So from the user's standpoint, you can cancel the job and not have to continue running this job that might be taking up your AI credits and whatnot, all your tokens that you've paid for that month. So there were a lot of cool, really like interesting things I think across the board that came together to kind of create this like useful app. And I know just from a personal standpoint, I'm sure everyone on this call and in the community as well, like you try to learn as much as you can, and you might be watching a video about a podcast or watching this other video behind while you're working, and you're like, I knew this nugget was somewhere here in this podcast, and I want to remember it because it's going to be useful to share with one of my team members that's working through this challenge, or mental model about how to think about things. Like, where was it? And you've just clicked through the YouTube video for forever to find that, and try to search the words, but you don't remember the exact words. And the chat feature that was added after is also super cool, that you can just kind of, I don't know, dig in and be able to just be able to interact with the content in a different way, in the way that your brain thinks. You might be asking somebody who actually recorded it, saying, hey, when did you talk about this? So overall, super cool, and definitely appreciate all the work there. And yeah, would like really curious to see how the app grows as well. So can't wait to use it more.
Awesome. Yeah, I totally agree. It's just really fun to think about all the different ways you can use this. Even just like watching, some series with my partner, and like she gets, ahead an episode, and I can just catch up quickly instead of needing to watch the whole episode sometimes. There's silly things like that, but then I think like Dan's, more practical. Uh, sometimes you just have recall about something you saw on video, and it's just hard to track it back down and seek to it. Or sometimes you just don't even want to watch the video. You want to watch separately, and this kind of gives you more choice. On the quick side too, I don't even think we're very good at promoting the fact that we support Chrome extensions. So that was really fun to see. Good work getting it done too. I think part of why we don't promote it is because that particular DX is a little rough around the edges still. And so good work kind of battling through that and getting it running. That was great to see.
I think from my side, I think it was really nice to see that use of not only the Postgres side of things that Xata provides, but also our other capabilities of storing embeddings. I think that was nice. And yeah, I think in my opinion, it was really great to see that you're able to build so much and it looks like a real product in such a short period of time. And actually, I think this is the goal of all these companies here, that allows engineers to build faster and more powerful products in the end. And I'm really happy to see this happening.
Awesome. Thank you for the input, judges. Congratulations, Morgan. That was a fun app, and we really enjoyed it. And I think you might need to bump up your servers. We got a couple of users here. I think that will actually probably use this on a regular basis. So keep up with it, because you have an audience now. All right, and there were a lot of great submissions, and so we wanted to make sure that we at least mentioned some folks that are definitely deserve an honorable mention. And I'll briefly talk about each one, but we'll have a blog later today that also shares kind of like the website and the GitHub repos as well. But Ad Review AI was a really cool solution that allowed you to upload an advertisement that you may have used in the past. I actually took a screenshot of the Xata website and put it up there, and it critiques it. And so it tells you what you need to fix, what you need to, what you can do better on, what worked well. And I thought it was a really good use of AI, and definitely like a clean application as well. AIQ was a pretty interesting way to consume information. So you type in a topic, and then it goes through a specific structure of what, where, why, how, and some interesting pieces of information too. And that was a really cool implementation of AI as well, to essentially project information to the end user. And so I thought that was an awesome use case. At Xata, at least, we love dad jokes. I'm not sure if AI was involved here. I saw OpenAI is imported, but I didn't dive in too much. But it doesn't matter, because they were wonderful jokes and they were written by somebody. And so dad jokes definitely gets an honorable mention, and that was a really fun one to see come through. Emo Track was a pretty practical and interesting implementation as well, where essentially it was a mental health check. And so there was a quiz associated, a daily quiz that you're supposed to take to check in where you're at. And then AI kind of analyzes and tells you what you could do to improve your mood today, if you're feeling too low, who to contact. And then at the end, you could also chat with the AI and talk about your feelings and what's going on. And so that was a pretty interesting use case. And I definitely see a lot of startups popping up kind of like around like a similar space. Mealoo was really cool. It was AI-powered meal planning. I've actually done something similar like this separately with like ChatGPT, and having an application specifically for it's pretty cool. So it allows you to set up your week, describe the kind of diet you want, and then essentially assign a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then I think up next in the roadmap was to actually add a recipe associated with those as well. And so that was a really cool idea, really cool use of planning, or use of the Pixie stack, and really enjoyed that. And then AI content for devs. This was dubbed Quick Posts by James Quick. Some of you may know who he is. He put this together. It was a really cool idea where you enter a topic, and essentially it creates like 3 tweets for you that you can then publish out. And so it was a good use of AI. I think like AI generated tweets is probably its own topic of discussion, but this was a really cool use of the technology. And so that was Quick Posts. And so with that, those are the honorable mentions. There were some really great applications out there overall. There were more than we could add to this presentation. And so I just wanted to thank everybody for participating. I hope you had fun. We got a lot of good feedback on the actual stack, so hopefully we see some more applications built with it. And so judges, thank you so much for judging and reviewing the submissions. There were a lot to go through, so definitely appreciate you doing that. And just generally, congratulations to the winners and everyone who had fun with the hackathon. I know it was short-lived. It was just 2 weeks, so definitely appreciate everybody participating. Congratulations to the winners. And for those that won, we will be reaching out to you via email. And so thank you again, and have a great weekend, everybody. All right. See you out there.
Thanks, Alex and team. Thank you all for participating.
Bye, everyone. Congratulations, everyone.